What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to another video. And did you guys know that there are actually wild parrots in the United States? Probably isn't going to come as a shock to many people because this is actually not quite as uncommon as I thought they were in certain areas. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't know we had wild parrots here. I think I knew we had parrots here at one point, but I didn't think any of them still existed. There are still a couple of native species of parrots around, but that's not what this particular article is going to be on. So yeah, I figured we'll go ahead and get into this, and I'll let you guys know where the wild parrots are in the United States. But before we do that though, guys, what I would like for you to do is please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any kind of videos from me, and drop a comment down below with any animal or anything you guys might like me to cover in the future. It only helps my channel grow, and I might, if I decide to cover one of your ideas, I'll drop your name in the shout out in the video. But all that being said though, guys, let's go ahead and get into this article. The article is coming from blog.nature.org. I don't own the rights to this, so if you guys would like, please go over there and show them some love as well. If not, just stick around and we'll just go through this together. A field guide to feral parrots in the U.S. Wait, was that a parrot? I'm looking out of my hotel room window in downtown Los Angeles, and I swear I just saw a parrot in the palm trees across the highway. Either that or the 17-hour-plus jet lag are causing me to hallucinate. But the next day, now well rested, I see them again. A flash of green and gold in the hazy sun. Later, both my colleagues and my Sibley bird guide confirmed that I had indeed seen a yellow chevroned parakeet, one of the several that have established breeding colonies amid the skyscrapers and urban sprawl of LA. As some birders and very sharp-eye observers may already know, the U.S. is home to dozens of feral parrot species. Using data from eBird and the Christmas bird count, scientists recently tallied 56 different parrot species cited in 43 states, 25 of which are now breeding in the wild across 23 different states. Okay, apparently parrot species in the U.S. are a lot more common than I thought they were. Because God, there's breeding colonies in 23 different states. That's nuts. How did these wayward parrots get here? Native parrots lost and found. The United States once had two endemic parrot species, the Carolina parakeet and the thick-billed parrot. Once found in the East and Midwest, Carolina parakeets went extinct in 1918, likely due to the widespread deforestation and direct hunting. The last captive bird, named Incus, lived and died in the same cage as Martha, the famous last passenger pigeon. The thick-billed parrot, though not extinct, is now only found in Mexico. The bird once ranged into Arizona and New Mexico, but a combination of heavy shooting, logging, and development drove these species back across the Mexican border. The bird was last seen in the U.S. in the Chiricahua Mountains in the late 1930s, and reintroduction attempts in the 1980s and 1990s were unsuccessful. Yeah, but that's how you get Lazarus parrots. Like, the ones that they thought didn't make it, they end up actually making it. So went the country's two native parrot species, or so we thought. The green parakeet and the red-crowned parrot could also be native to the U.S., as their range occasionally extends into southern Texas. Whether or not they are native, and if they are warrant protection as an endangered species, is controversial. Either way, both birds are also established ferals elsewhere in the country. Today, the vast majority of parrots sighted in the U.S. are non-natives birds and are either escaped pets creating one-off sightings, or they are a descendants of pets that have now established permanent breeding colonies. Take the monk parakeet, a squat lime green bird native to South America in the 1950s and 60s. Tens of thousands of monk parakeets were imported into the U.S. as pets. Inevitably, some escaped or were set free when their owners tired of a loud, messy, demanding, long-lived pet. Now, 70 years later, the monk parakeet is the most abundant feral parrot in the country. The top three feral parrots. Just three species, monk parrot, red-crowned parrot, and Nandi parakeet, make up 61% of all sightings reported on eBird and CBC over the last 15 years. If you study these three species using your guide below, you will be in a good position to identify the most likely candidates or rule them out if you find something more unusual. Monk parakeet. I'd wager that this chunky green bird is the most commonly sighted feral parrot in the U.S. because they've established conspicuous breeding populations in at least 21 states, including colonies in several major U.S. cities. Note the green body and tail, blue wingtips, white chest and chin, and orange bill. Another hint, look for a nest. Most parrots are cavity nesters, laying eggs in hollow tree limbs and trunks, but the monk parakeet is the exception. This species builds an elaborate tangled stick nest accessed by a small tunnel. Many pairs share the same nest, which can look like a mini beaver dam in the sky. So if you see a small green bird popping and out of a stick nest, then you could be reasonably sure it's a monk parakeet. Why do they gotta word things so weirdly in these articles? Those are pretty big too, holy crap. I'd be freaked out if I saw that. Alright. Red-crowned parrot. Also known as the red-crowned Amazon, whether or not this species counts as a native depends on who you talk to. Some say that the population in the Rio Grande Valley are the product of both escaped pets and wild birds. Others disagree. Complicating matters is the question of whether or not the bird deserves protection as an endangered species. Red-crowned parrots are found elsewhere in the U.S. with breeding populations descended from escapee pets in greater Texas, California, and Florida. Note the green body, dark wingtips, light beak, dusky blue-gray nape, and bright red forehead. Other species also have red and green faces, so look closely. The species is now endangered in its native range thanks to habitat destruction for agricultural and research uses, as well as illegal trapping for the pet trade. Scientists think it's possible that there are now more feral red-crowned parrots in the U.S. than there are in their original habitats in Mexico. It's crazy how often that happens. Like, in Mexico, all of the natural and unnatural predation on them is there. But then when they get brought to here, though they're endangered in Mexico, here they just reproduce like crazy because there's nothing here to eat them. Well, I mean, there's things that will eat them, but like they're not as, like the pressure isn't as hard on them, if that makes more sense. That's a very pretty bird, though. Alright. Nande parakeet. Also known as the black-hooded parakeet, Nandes are native to the wetlands of the Pantanal region in central South America. Look for a yellow-green body and long tail, blue-black wings, and a distinctive dark head and bill. If you look closely, they also have little bracelet of red feathers the bottom of each leg. In the U.S., Nandes are found throughout central and southern Florida and in California's greater Los Angeles and Orange County regions. The species is occasionally sighted in the Arizona and Texas. So just you randomly find these parrots in Texas and Arizona. So those are just ones that have managed to make it that far. Here we go. Feral parrot hotspots. Another great way to narrow down a mystery parrot sighting is by location. Together, 3 states, Florida, Texas, and California, support populations of all 25 species of breeding parrots in the USA. And several other major cities have well-established populations of one or more species. Here are some common places to spot established breeding colonies of feral parrots, and if you don't live or bird in one of these places, we recommend using eBird to see which feral parrots are reported in your area. For parrots, most established populations are found in the southern end of the peninsula, and birders have cited more than 35 species in Miami-Dade County alone. Miami is particularly famous for its resident flock of more than 20 blue and gold macaws, which have lived there for more than 30 years. Unfortunately, this population is declining as the birds, which lack any legal protection, are being legally poached for the pet trade. I mean, that's sad, but true. California parrot dreaming. San Francisco's red-masked parakeets are one of the most famous parrots in the country. In 2003, an award-winning documentary, The Wild Parrots of Telegraph Hill, followed a homeless musician and his relationship with the neighborhood flock of feral parrots. More than 15 years later, the birds are still there, but many of the 300-strong flock are being sickened or by killed rat poison set out to control the city's rodents. Yeah. Feral parrots are common in California's other major cities. Los Angeles, San Francisco, and San Diego all have populations of red-masked parakeets, yellow chevron parakeets, blue-crowned parakeets, rose-ringed parakeets, among others. So, California is just basically famous for exotic pets and letting them go, apparently. Coast-to-coast urban parroting. Outside of Florida and California, many cities have well-documented populations of feral parrots. You can find monk parakeet colonies in Brooklyn. Check out the Greenwood Cemetery, Boston, Houston, Austin, Dallas, Chicago, and New Orleans, among others. In Phoenix, look for rosy-faced lovebirds, and amidst a long list of non-native birds in Hawaii, you can find red-crowned parakeets on Oahu and metrid parakeets in Maui. Well, I learned more about parrots in the U.S. through that article, I must admit. I didn't realize there were that many of them, like, that have established breeding colonies just, like, across the U.S. I'm really wanting to, like, go onto that website now and see if there's any inside, like, my hometown, and see if there is, that I'm totally going to find me some wild parrots just to see it. And I'll try and video it and put it onto here for you guys to see. But yeah, please let me know if you guys have any wild parrots where you live. If you already knew about this, if you know of any other species, that'd be really cool. Yeah, just drop all that down in the comments below. And once again, guys, as I always like to say, please go ahead, like this video, subscribe to my page, turn on the notification bell, and I will see you guys. Oh, and follow me on Instagram, and I will see you guys in the next video.